Hello, my name is Mohan Kelkar, and in this video, I want to talk about electricity generation in the world. If I tell you that the percentage of electricity which is generated by coal and natural gas today is higher than it was 40 years ago, you won't believe it, but that is true. 40 years ago, about 52% of electricity was generated by coal and natural gas. Today, that percentage is about 60%. It peaked around 63% around 2011, and then it has declined since that time. This is evident from this graph as well. Some of the coal has been replaced by natural gas in terms of generating electricity, but combination of coal and natural gas provides more electricity today than it was 40 years ago. But what is more revealing is the amount of coal and natural gas which is used today to generate electricity compared to 40 years ago. If you look at coal, the percentage of coal which is used has essentially remained the same, but the actual amount of coal which is used today to generate electricity has increased threefold. Natural gas, the increase is even more dramatic. Compared to 40 years ago, the amount of natural gas which is used today to generate electricity has increased fourfold. So the overall consumption of coal and natural gas has significantly increased to generate electricity compared to what it was 40 years ago. Now, Europe has been the most aggressive in reducing the dependence of fossil fuels. You can see that about 40 years ago, 51% of electricity was generated by coal and natural gas, and today that percentage is about 39%, which is about 20% decline, while wind and solar are contributing today about 14% of the electricity. United States has mostly replaced coal with natural gas, but the overall percentage of coal and natural gas has declined from about 70% to about 60%, about 15% decline, and wind and solar contribute again about 13% of the electricity. But the story for the developing nations is different than the developed nations. If you look at China, coal and natural gas contributed about 63% of electricity in 40 years ago. Today, the contribution is 66%, a slight increase, while wind and solar contribute about 12% of electricity. In India, the situation is even more dramatic. Natural gas and coal contributed about 63% of the electricity. Today, they contribute about 78% of the electricity, almost 20% increase, where wind and solar contribute about 8%. So the stories in the developing nations versus developed nations is completely different. In developing nations, the reliance on fossil fuels is increasing, whereas in the developed countries, the reliance on fossil fuels is decreasing. So how does this impact the overall, the world energy and electricity requirements? Well, this is very clear from this graph because about 40 years ago, Europe dominated the percentage share of electricity in the world, about 37%. Today, it is about 17%, almost 60% decline. United States was about 27%, today is about 15%, a 40% decline in the percentage of share of electricity. But look at China. 40 years ago, it's about 5%. Today is about 30%, 500% increase as a percentage share of electricity. India was 2%, today is 6%, almost 200% share increase in the percentage share of electricity. As the developing countries increase their reliance on electricity, they are going to more rely on fossil fuels because fossil fuels provide reliable electricity. There are about 1.5 billion people in the world who do not have reliable source of electricity. For them to have reliable source of electricity, they have to consider fossil fuels rather than renewable sources. I will explain why that is the case in the next video. Thank you for listening to this presentation. If you like, please share the video. Thank you.